Forget everything you thought you knew about off-road SUVs, because the 2025 Ford Bronco Raptor just raised the stakes. We're talking bigger tires, more horsepower, and trail-ready tech that feels straight out of a video game. But here's the twist. While the Bronco Raptor promises to dominate dirt and desert, it's also stepping into a price range where some luxury SUVs and even electric off-roaders are fighting for attention. So, is this really the ultimate adventure machine, or just hype wrapped in rugged bodywork? Stick around, because by the end of this review, you'll know if it's worth your money. The Ford Bronco has always been more than just an SUV. It's a symbol of American adventure. When Ford revived the Bronco a few years ago, it instantly reignited that classic rivalry with the Jeep Wrangler. But now, the 2025 Bronco Raptor takes things to an entirely new level. Built under Ford's high-performance Raptor badge, the same one that turned the F-150 into an off-road legend, this SUV is designed for drivers who don't just want to hit the trail, they want to conquer it. What makes this launch especially important is the timing. With the off-road market heating up, the Bronco Raptor isn't just competing with Wrangler anymore. It's staring down luxury brands and even some electric newcomers that promise silent, torque-heavy performance in the dirt. Ford is betting big that there's still a huge audience for a gas-powered beast that blends raw power with everyday usability. So in this review, we're going beyond the headlines to see whether the 2025 Bronco Raptor lives up to its wild image, or if it's just a flashy badge with an even flashier price tag. And trust me, by the time we hit performance and pricing later in this video, you'll know exactly where this SUV stands in today's crowded market. Now let's dive into what makes the 2025 Ford Bronco Raptor such a showstopper. The first thing you'll notice is its sheer presence. This SUV isn't subtle. It's wider, taller, and bolder than a standard Bronco. With its massive 37-inch all-terrain tires, flared fenders, and signature Raptor grille, it looks less like a daily driver and more like something you'd expect to see launching off dunes in Baja. The design tells you right away, this vehicle is built to perform where the pavement ends. Step inside and Ford keeps the adventure-ready theme alive. The cabin isn't dripping in luxury leather like a Range Rover, but that's not the point. Instead, it strikes a balance between rugged durability and modern tech. The dashboard is dominated by a large touchscreen with Ford's latest Sync infotainment system, which supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The seats are heavily bolstered, keeping you locked in place during aggressive off-road runs, yet comfortable enough for long highway drives. And yes, it's all washable, because Ford knows mud, dust, and spills are part of the package. But it's what's under the hood that makes this SUV roar. The Bronco Raptor comes with a twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter EcoBoost V6 that cranks out around 418 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. Pair that with a 10-speed automatic transmission and advanced four-wheel drive system, and you've got a recipe for serious off-road thrills. In fact, Ford has tuned the suspension with Fox live valve shocks, similar to what you'd find in desert racing trucks. That means whether you're crawling over boulders or blasting down sandy trails, the Bronco Raptor adapts in real time to keep things smooth and controlled. Of course, performance isn't only about power. Ford has packed this SUV with clever trail tech. Features like Trail Turn Assist, which literally helps pivot the vehicle in tight corners, and one-pedal driving for precise rock crawling, give drivers confidence even on challenging terrain. Add in multiple Geo modes, goes over any terrain, and the Bronco Raptor becomes less intimidating, even for someone new to off-roading. But here's the thing, no SUV is perfect. At nearly 6,000 pounds, the Bronco Raptor isn't exactly light, and you'll feel that in fuel economy. Early estimates put it around 15 miles per gallon combined, which is, well, not great. And while it's comfortable on highways, the oversized tires can produce more road noise than some buyers might expect. So if you're picturing a quiet, plush commuter, this might not be the SUV for you. Still, the Bronco Raptor's unique personality makes it hard to ignore.
It blends real-world practicality. You can seat 5, carry gear, and tow up to 4,500 pounds, with the kind of wild capability that makes every trip an adventure. The big question, though, is whether all this performance and style come at too steep a price. And that's where things get really interesting, because in just a moment, we'll break down the highlights and drawbacks, including a few surprises you won't want to miss. And this is where the Bronco Raptor really proves what it's made of. Out on the trail, that 418 horsepower V6 doesn't just sound aggressive, it delivers. On steep inclines, the torque comes on instantly, pulling this nearly 3-ton SUV up rocky climbs with surprising ease. Switch into Baja mode, and suddenly you're blasting across dirt roads at speeds that feel more like a rally stage than an off-road test. The Fox shocks soak up ruts and dips like they don't exist, and the suspension keeps the body remarkably stable, even when the terrain looks anything but. But the real surprise comes when you bring the Bronco Raptor back to pavement. Sure, it's not whisper quiet, but it's far more composed than most would expect. The steering feels direct, the cabin remains comfortable at highway speeds, and despite those massive tires, it doesn't wander nearly as much as some rivals. For a vehicle this extreme, Ford has managed to deliver an SUV that can still handle daily driving without beating you up. That said, the weak spot shows up as soon as you check the fuel gauge. With mileage hovering around the mid-teens, you'll burn through a tank quickly if you plan on using this beast as your commuter. And when you factor in the starting price north of $90,000, the Bronco Raptor sits in rare territory, competing with not only Jeep's Wrangler 392, but also brushing against entry-level luxury off-roaders. So the question becomes, is this SUV an unbeatable off-road weapon that justifies its price? Or is it a niche toy for those with deep pockets? That's exactly what we're about to uncover in the final verdict. So, after spending time with the 2025 Ford Bronco Raptor, one thing is crystal clear. This SUV isn't built for everyone, but for the right buyer, it's nearly irresistible. On the plus side, you've got jaw-dropping off-road capability, a suspension system that feels race-ready, and enough power to turn any back road into your personal playground. Add to that a rugged yet modern interior, clever trail tech, and the undeniable presence of the Raptor badge, and you've got a vehicle that knows exactly what it wants to be. But the cons can't be ignored. Fuel economy is painful by modern standards. Daily comfort, while better than expected, still comes second to its off-road focus, and the starting price, north of $90,000, pushes it out of reach for many enthusiasts. In other words, if you're just looking for a stylish commuter SUV, this isn't it. So, who is it for? The Bronco Raptor is for drivers who live for adventure. Those who want a vehicle that can crawl over rocks on the weekend and still haul the family during the week. It's for the kind of buyer who values capability and character over quiet luxury or efficiency. And in today's US market, where electric SUVs and luxury crossovers are grabbing headlines, the Bronco Raptor stands as a reminder that raw, mechanical fun still has a place. Looking ahead, this SUV could mark a defining moment. It shows that even in a world shifting toward electrification, there's still demand for bold, gas-powered machines that don't apologize for being extreme. The question is, how long will that last? So, would you choose the Bronco Raptor as your ultimate adventure SUV? Or would you rather save the cash and look at a Wrangler, Land Cruiser, or even wait for an electric off-roader? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next big review.